Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for a cherry on top, and I'm sharing with you this grid layout for part of my Breaking Out of the Box series, and this is available in the store. I have one 4x6 photo and three 2x2-inch squares. So this is kind of more a video of what not to do, and then I will explain all of the why and what not to do. So part of my Breaking Out of the Box series is to create grid layouts and make them feel less boxy. So you can see I have a very light and airy 4x6 photo down the bottom, and the main colors there are pink and blue. So I'm going to work with the color palette pink and blue at the bottom to complement that. But then if you look at those three 2x2 squares, they're very dark and there's a lot of black in them. So I need to incorporate that contrast at the top to what's going on at the bottom. So here is lesson number one. If you think you're going to break out of the box and soften the box by putting twine in as if it were like a ticket and then putting washi tape up the top, you're wrong. It's not going to work. It adds to the boxy effect. So you'll see me pull the twine off, pull the washi off, and then you will see later on in the video that I'm just going to take that off altogether and keep that pink border. But this way the pink works with and pops the pink that's in the photo on the right hand side and creates a focal point and unites that segment of the block together. So at this point I'm going to commit to my not commit, and I forget that to center the box I need to be 2 inches in and an inch up. So because it is a box, the measurements are pretty simple to figure out here. If you're good at math, which, yeah, okay. So that's where I take the washi off and I'm like, nope, that's becoming too boxy and I don't want that effect. Oftentimes, if you put the elements that overlap the boxes, you are able to soften the box. So I had pre-printed my pictures on a 4x6, knowing that I was going to split them in order to break the box. I know I want an element that is going to span. It's going to be 2x4. And so I'm looking here for elements that are going to span that. So you can see I have this blue, which works perfectly with my jacket and the darkness of my jacket, but it doesn't work well with the flowers. So now I've flipped it over and I've got the green gingham, and that looks good. However, now I've got a lot of green. It's very dominantly green up the top, and so plan B. I know I want to have one of these tabs at the bottom somewhere, again, just to break the box. And so I use my trusty punch. I have had that forever. I don't know that it's available anymore, but that is my go-to. You could also use your silhouette. I'm sure, in fact, I know Ellie's Studio has one. It just is not a fold over. So here I thought if I tighten the twine, nope. Just get rid of it all together. And now I've got a clean rectangle, which makes the box less boxy. And so now I'm looking for elements for the top squares. Again, I've got a lot of black in there and I need to lighten that up. So I thought this journal card would be perfect because the florals will go with the florals that I want to use from one of the pattern papers coming up, and you'll see what I'm referencing. And so that is a perfect header to the box up there. And because the design is only on the top of that rectangle, again, it softens the box there. So you can see I'm going to have to cut that bottom picture there. So I'm still trying to incorporate this green gingham in there, and it's not right. There's too much green in there already. And so then I find on the B side that subtle floral paper. And so I'm going to use a piece of that, and the white with the white in the rectangle with the header perfectly softens those photos. So yes, voila. Now, again, a lesson in what not to do. So my next piece of paper I'm going to find, I like the yellow and I like the blue with the bees on it. So I'm going to cut 2 squares to fill in the spots there. And that blue is perfect because it pulls in the blue from the photo down below. So now I've got a cohesive color unit throughout the whole box. But what I am going to do off camera is I'm going to switch the yellow square and the white subtle pattern square, the white floral, because now I've got a row of white, and if I switch the white and the yellow, you have more of a visual triangle of white. So this is a full 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper that I've cut just a row of the flowers at the bottom there. All of the other papers that I'm working with are from the 6 by 6 paper pad. I have always liked the 6 by 6 paper pads and the smaller patterns, but what I really like about these lately is that I have been doing a lot of memory planning, and so I like that smaller design in my memory planner. So I'm committing to all of these pieces, temporarily committing to them. You'll see I go off camera. I do change them, and I've explained to you why. And so there is my grid, and you can see how with the stickers that I'm going to apply. So I have a very limited stash of this collection, but I've done it intentionally because I have found when I have full collections, which I am inclined to want to buy, I don't use it and I get overwhelmed by all of it. So I just have a couple of the papers. I think I ordered 3 of the 12 by 12s, these puffy stickers, and then the 6 by 6 paper pad. And what I like about the 12 by 12 papers, and that's why I'm very selective about what I order, is I try and order papers that are either plain for backgrounds or that have fussy cuttable elements. So here I'm using the elements, the puffy stickers that are going to help break up that grid. I'm also going to use a few stickers off center or off of the grid, which helps soften that grid. So it's just a teeny tiny sticker, but you'll see that I use a white sticker on that white flower in that top right photo there, and that will fade into the flower because it's the same color, but because it's a different dimension right there, the different dimension makes it a little bit more of a subtle focal point in the photo. So, and not a focal point, but something that's going to guide your eye around the page, something that I flow management. And that floral there is off the grid, which helps break that up and makes it less boxy, just as that blue tab on the bottom does. So here is where I've decided in that yellow square there, I want to have some of these fussy cut florals. If I had bought the embellishments, I probably would have had a few of those, but hey, make your own embellishments, right? So I've got my small spring-loaded scissors from Fiskars. Another version of these, a more recent version of these, is also available in the store, and I'm going to fussy cut 3 of those. You will see I'm going to use 2, and that's where I decide I really want to fill that box just a teeny bit more so that that yellow is a little less glaring, but I like the way that the yellows pull into the flowers, the daffodils, and I'm not sure what that other flower on the right hand side is. I'm going to use some double-sided foam, just the squares, to pop up one of those flowers, again for some movement on the page. I like the shadow that it leaves on the page as well. And then it is time to do some title work. When I go into that phase of the layout coming up right here, you'll see where I've switched the yellow. I put a small, subtle yellow label behind that. That is from, I want to say that's from Ellie's Studio, and that just adds just a pop of white behind it. It's kind of like the sun is poking out from the clouds. So this die is no longer available from Echo Park. It's Olivia lowercase. However, Echo Park has a ton of dies alpha dyes, and there are a ton of alpha dyes out there that look just like this, so you can use any cursive alpha really. And this is just the green, the solid green, to pull in that green from the top, and it's actually going to go on that big rectangle where I'm going to journal. What I also did off camera was I stamped, it's very subtle in a very, very light pale blue, Lewis Ginter, which is the name of the park that we were at, that is above the row of flowers there. And I think you can see it in the close-ups, but again, it's really subtle. I just liked the way that it added that little pop of blue and tied that bluey green that the bees are on in the top down to the bottom there, and worked nicely, kind of with that washout effect that the sun flare has on the photo as well. So I'm just going to glue that down that says spring. I'm going to use my own handwriting and write blooms to finish out the title. It's just small black letters. I'm also going to off camera take the pinky peachy puffy flower sticker that matches the blue one, and put that off of spring, and that also is out of the box, which softens the box. So all of these products are available over at A Cherry on Top. They're new, they've just arrived, so be sure to head over there and check out the store and see what appeals to you. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.